I know I'm not the only one that is just absolutely excited for this game, super hyped, and looking forward to seeing more in regards to what this game is going to be beyond just the CG trailer. Now, it's not a matter of impatience. I have a certain amount of questions that I've seen asked in the community, and I'm going to be touching upon those in today's video. We're going to go over 10 of the most important questions that I feel like we still need answers to, and in due time, we will get those answers. So, we'll get there. But for the sake of this video, I do want to highlight these questions because I do think they're very important that the community does get these answers, hopefully sooner rather than later. That being said, before we get to the questions, I would appreciate if you guys would like this video. It definitely helps me out tremendously if you're liking what you see with Mortal Kombat 1 and all the content that I'm putting out in regards to covering it. Helping me out with a like absolutely is much appreciated, as well as subscribe. If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you do not want to miss any of the content that I'm going to be putting out. This channel's been around for over 8 years. We put out weekly podcasts talking at length for hours about all things past and present and future of Mortal Kombat, as well as videos just like this. So definitely do that. And we also have a Discord community, so you can check that out in the description. I'm also on Twitter at Netherkast, so come follow me there. And yeah, I appreciate all that. But let's get to the list. I don't want to waste your time anymore. So the first question I have seen, probably the key one, is one I've talked about, and that is, when will we see gameplay? And we just got our answer. As I've been preparing to make this video, we are going to see gameplay not at the the Sony PlayStation Showcase. We are not getting it there like a lot of people were hoping for. Unfortunately, we're going to be waiting till June 8th at Summer Games Fest for a world premiere where Ed Boon's going to be up on stage. So that's going to be Thursday, June 8th. Summer Games Fest is when we're going to get our first look at the gameplay of Mortal Kombat 1. Now, that's only 2 weeks from now, so that's not going to take too long. I can wait. We can all wait. It's okay. The hype will spike up again right before that, so not a big deal. I mean, with Mortal Kombat 11, we had to wait from early December, I think December like 7th, all the way to the 18th of or the 17th of January. So that was more like a little over a month and a week before we even got to see that gameplay. So we can handle 2 more weeks from today. It'll be all right. That being said, when it relates to gameplay, which is the most important part of these games, it's a fighting game at the end of the day. If it's not fun to play, nothing else matters. My second question would be, will the gameplay be faster like Mortal Kombat X or even Mortal Kombat 9, which was still pretty fast, or is it going to be slower like Mortal Kombat 11? It's going to be slower, more methodical, less combos, or are we going to have that combos and craziness of Mortal Kombat X where it's more high octane, fast pace, more rush down heavy rather than zoning? So that would be a question I think we all want to know the answer to, that all of us that are excited and very interested in playing this game but are being cautious about how hyped we get so far based on, it's got to play good. So that being said, knowing how it plays is absolutely important. We'll know that sooner rather than later. Obviously, we have a date now. The third question is, how will cameos be implemented? That I mentioned this in my concerns video. That's because a lot of people are still talking about cameos. That is the thing that I think people are talking about the most, is cameos. How do they work? So my question would be, is how are they going to be implemented? Are they going to show up on screen? They have to show up on screen, right? It's not going to just be a special move from off screen. They wouldn't, make such a big deal. This is the gimmick of the game, it seems. This is going to be the key feature this time around. So I would have to imagine they're pretty robust. And I would imagine we also have to get plenty of them, a couple dozen. I feel like at least 20, right, on a starting roster. Otherwise, if it's only like 10 cameos, everybody's going to be flocking to the same one or two. So I'm really curious at how they're going to be implemented. I think it has the potential to be an amazing feature that all of us fall in love with, but we won't know that for sure until we actually see how they're implementing the cameos. Number 4, when does this game take place time-wise? Now, in the trailer, a lot of people were thinking it was going to be like olden times before, electricity or technology. But then there's things like satellites and fans and light bulbs and all that stuff. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be that far back. I think we're looking more towards like MK1, MK2-ish, even MK3. in time wise, not revisiting those same storylines, but rather time wise, what year are we doing this in? The 90s, the early 2000s, something like that, I think is far more likely. But yeah, that's something I'm very curious about, because if we're going to get all these characters in, I'm hoping we're not just getting the trilogy characters. I'm hoping we're getting some 3D era representation. That's something they've teased a lot on Twitter. Ed Boon said that's a perception they're looking to fix. That perception being that they hate the 3D era characters, the Ashras, the Lee Mays, Nataras, Havocs, etc. If they're gonna fix that perception, I hope it's not just cameos. I'm hoping that they're on the base roster. So time wise, they can write these characters however they want and have them show up at any point that they want if we're starting from scratch. But yeah, I'm very curious time wise when this game takes place. Where are we starting off? What's our starting off point? And then the fifth question: what type of modes are we going to get? Now, they say immersive story mode. Does that mean the chapter system like we have been getting, or are we going to get something more like Conquest? Because to me, immersive that doesn't ring true to the chapter system. Immersive to me says something more like Conquest, where you're running around the worlds and exploring, Outworlds or Adenia or Earthrealm, Chaos Realm, etc. Like that is immersive. Even the crypt in Mortal Kombat 11 felt more immersive. So when I see the tagline immersive story, I'm wondering if we're going to get a conquest mode. And I think getting some more fun side modes. I would love tag to come back. It doesn't look like it, otherwise I feel like that would be more of a heavy, marketing thing that they would really hang their hat on rather than just the cameos would be tag as well. So it doesn't look like we're getting that, at least not at launch. I hope maybe through an update later on, like an Aftermath or XL size update, they add tag, or maybe this is just the building blocks for tag in the later games. I don't know. But yes, I want to know what kind of side modes are we getting? Are we getting something on the along the lines of chess combat or motor combat or puzzle combat, that kind of stuff? Are we going to get a challenge tower where we can do all the like crazy missions as we go up the tower? That was a lot of fun. Or are we just getting like the towers of time and the crypt and we're calling it a day? So that's kind of where I'm really wondering, what kind of modes are we getting in this game? And then number 6, what kind of changes are we going to see to characters? Now, in the reveal trailer, it didn't seem like we saw really any heavy big changes to characters. Melina still looked like Melina, Katana still looked like Katana, Liu Kang, so on and so forth. But story wise, I feel like what they're teasing is relationships and roles will change, origin stories will change. Ed Boon, I believe, said that this game is going to be a very heavy origin story focused game where we're learning about these characters for the first time, and I am absolutely excited by that concept. I want to learn. I want to see these characters as if it's for the first time again, and I feel like that's what we're gonna get. So I'm really looking forward to that. But what kind of changes are we gonna get? Are we gonna get evil Sonya? Are we gonna get good Melina, good Reptile, good Baraka, where they're fighting for the good side? And then other characters like Sonya might be bad. That'd be weird. I don't even know how they would do that, but I'm very intrigued and excited what kind of changes we're going to see for the characters. And I hope they are written extremely well and that foundation is laid really well, because I want to see this game be a great starting off point leading into the next Mortal Kombat and the next Mortal Kombat. Let's do it well out of the gate so that way we're not forcing ourselves into another reboot with a lot of retcons and stuff like that. Number 7, who's going to be on the playable roster? Now, this right up there with the gameplay is hugely important. So when I watch that trailer, we get a few names confirmed, plus Johnny Cage from the website. A lot of those are just, it's just Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2 thus far. So are we going to be able to see more 3D era representation? MK4 characters? Are we going to get like the likes of Serena, Ashra, Havoc? Is Onaga going to be there? Is he going to be a boss figure? Reiko, so many characters. Are we going to get any of the NRS era characters back, like the Tremors, the Scarlet, so on and so forth? Ferrator, Ferrator. I don't know, but yeah, I would love to know what kind of character representation are we going to get on this roster. How big is the roster going to be? I am so excited and enamored. When it comes to fighting games, roster is one of the right above gameplay. Like in terms of gameplay is the core, as I've mentioned, but roster is the next step above or below, however you want to think of it, in terms of what's important. So I want to know, what characters are we going to be seeing? Is it going to be just that trilogy era? Is it going to be very MK1 and 2 kind of focused, or are we going to be able to branch off and see characters we haven't seen in 10 to 15 to 20 years, with a lot of the 3D era characters? Are we going to get any cyborgs, I go by cyborg. I want to see Cyrex and Sector make it in there after they weren't in 11 playable anyways. And then X, we didn't get them either. We just got kind of their variations as a part of Triborg. So yeah, anyways, very excited. And I think as a community, the Mortal Kombat community are very passionate about their characters making it into the game. So that is definitely a key question I am left with after seeing that trailer, is what kind of character representation are we going to see? Number 8, how do dragon crystals work? Well, I touched upon this on the concerns, but that could be anything. It could be an in-game shop where it's just in-game and you don't pay real money. But the fact that they're including it in the premium editions and the collector's edition says to me that you're probably going to be able to buy dragon crystals. It makes sense with how they did 11 with time crystals and so on and so forth. So I feel like we've been heading in that direction. I just hope that they do it in a way that doesn't feel egregious, and they're not, not even nickeling and diming, but really, charging us a lot for little amounts of content or random content, stuff like that. No loot box type scenario. As a gaming culture, we've moved away a bit from the loot boxes over the years, but now we've gotten to where you get in like Rocket League or Call of Duty or Fortnite, all of which are free to play games, at least Warzone for Call of Duty, all of which are free to play, but they have bundles, $20, $15 bundles where they come with a lot of stuff you don't want, but then they come with maybe one or two items that you do want. So I'm hoping if they do Dragon Crystal stuff and it costs real money, that you can earn Dragon Crystals in the game just by playing it. And so that way you're rewarded by spending your time with the game, and it's either like pay or play basically. So if you don't want to spend the time to get Dragon Crystals, hey, you can buy them. That's cool. If you want to just play the game, hopefully you earn Dragon Crystals at a reasonable rate so it doesn't feel like they're really pushing you towards to spending more money on an already $70 game. Yeah, I'm just very curious how those are going to work, and hopefully it's not going to really deter or detract or sour the experience. Number 9 would be, will the game feature the same level of grind that MK11 had? And that's kind of piggybacking on the Dragon Crystal thing. I'm hoping that it is not a very crazy super grind like it was with 11. As 11 launched, they even had to do a combat cast where they said, "Look, we know this grind is horrible and we're going to scale it back a bit." I'm hoping we avoid excuse me. I'm hoping we avoid that whole process this time, and they come out of the gate with a system that feels like we're meeting in the middle, from fans to developers to publishers, between us, NRS, and WB. Everybody can be happy. It's like the old theme park games on Super Nintendo for anybody that's where you gotta meet the shake hands. Old game reference, but yeah, I'm hoping it's not a super grind. Make it reasonable. It doesn't have to be all handed to us. I get they want us to keep playing the game and spending time on the game to unlock things, but yes, please have it be where you can earn things at a reasonable rate and it's not like a random crypt or anything like that. But I've talked about that enough in concerns video, so we're gonna move on. Hopefully we get answers to that sooner rather than later. The only unfortunate part is they usually don't talk about like the grind aspect or the unlock systems until way later, like towards release, maybe like a month out type of thing. That's usually, they try to save that because they know that's going to be more of a backlash heavy thing. So hopefully we're not looking at that this time around. And the last question I see among the community, and something that I'm very, very wanting an answer to, is, will we get crossplay at launch? And if not, how long do we have to wait post launch to get it? Because if I can't play with my friends online who all have different consoles, we run a community here with hundreds of members on our Discord, as well as, thousands of subscribers, where it's like, if we can't all play together, that really sucks. I want to host community game nights where we all get in together and do King of the Hills and do tournaments. We've ran tournaments in the past, and if we can't all face each other, that really makes it difficult. So I'm hoping we're not looking at that, or if at worst we're looking at like a week or something, something quick. But I feel like they did take that part of the FAQ down where it mentioned that crossplay wouldn't be there at launch. So I'm hoping that means that they're going to put in an extra push to get it done. So that said, those are the 10 questions I have, as well as many in the community have had that I've seen on Twitter, as well as on our Discord. So I'm wondering, what kind of questions are you left with? Let me know in the comments below what questions you are most curious about getting answers to in regards to this game. Once again, I must reiterate, this is not impatience. I'm just putting the questions out there for people to talk. I make these videos to elicit discussion in the comment section, as well as the Discord and Twitter. It's not a matter of impatience. We are going to get everything in time, and this game will be out before we know it. So I am super excited, loving what I see, and I'm very, very curious on the answers to these questions. On that note, like I said, let me know what kind of questions you're left with, or your thoughts and feels based on these questions in the comments below. And make sure to like the video. Once again, it really does help me. So I appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you all very soon, and hopefully, maybe we'll get something between now and the gameplay world premiere at Summer Games Fest. Who knows? If not, it's not that long of a wait. I'll catch you all very soon.